You're watching us here on this very special coverage. Why do I call it special? Well, my jersey tells it, right? We're talking about India's quest for a lot of medals at the Paris Olympics 2024. We've come a long way since Tokyo, where we had our best ever tally, but now we have the largest contingent going as well, over 117 athletes, and all of us are cheering for Team India. Cheering with me is Parth Jindal. You don't need any introduction, the jersey tells you all of that, but I have to give a disclosure or a disclaimer. I bought this jersey long before our conversation was decided, and I also have to say, you wore yours because you saw me wearing it?
Yeah, absolutely. I was in a suit and I saw you with your jersey and I said I have to put mine on as well.
So, 7 in Tokyo 2020, how many are you gunning for now?
So, you know, it's very difficult to predict medals.
Yes, obviously.
It goes on, they have to qualify, then they go into the Olympics. There's a lot of pressure. But I think never before has Team India been so well prepared. I think the government has put a tremendous amount of impetus, and there's been a lot of collaboration between the private sector and the government in preparing this contingent. So whether it is the Sports Authority of India, whether it's the Target Olympic Podium Scheme, whether it's the Indian Olympic Association and the Sports Ministry, I think everyone has worked collectively to give our Indian athletes the best chance. I think, you know, Tokyo, we won 7 medals and our shooters didn't get a single medal.
Yes.
This is going to be our largest ever contingent of shooters going to any Olympic Games. 21 shooters are going. We also have a very strong archery team going. Again, archery didn't bring back any medals in Tokyo. So I'm optimistic. I think double digits, I wouldn't settle for anything less than double digits. My own count is about 12. 12 to 15 is where I would be thrilled if India gets to, but anything less than double digits, I would be disappointed.
All right, and since you are very closely associated with all sort of sports, more so with, you know, the quest for gold in Olympics, etc., can I pin you down for hopes of the yellow medal this time around? I mean, last time we did 1. How many this time?
So again, it's very difficult
yes.
to predict, but Neeraj goes in as the favorite.
Yes.
There's no doubt about that. Then we have a chance in boxing as well with Nikhat Zareen.
Yes.
She has a shot at a gold. In my book, Vinesh Fogart is another one who is, although the Japanese are extremely strong, but we would be expecting Vinesh to put up a very strong fight for a gold. And shooting, I mean, shooting, we have world champions, we have world record holders going. So I don't know, let's see, but I hope it's more than 1.
All right, double digit for medals and double the gold count at least, from 1 to go to 2, etc. You know, over the last 4 years, I think Tokyo was a bit of a turning point in the sense that made us take note of all the other sports that are, you know, doing extremely well. We've always been a cricket-centric nation. Cricket is still about 90% of our sports market, but increasingly there is a lot of funding from the private sector coming into all the other sports as well. How do you see this as a business opportunity?
No, I think other than cricket and kabaddi, I think these 2 sports are commercially have proven themselves time and time again. There's still a long way to go for other sports to become a business opportunity.
Yeah.
You are seeing the advent of non-cricketing brand endorsements happening.
Yes.
So you're seeing the likes of Neeraj Chopra, PV Sindhu, you're seeing the likes of even some of our wrestlers getting big brand endorsement deals. Some of our, even Murli Sri Shankar got, our long jumper got a deal with Toyota. So you're seeing that happening. You're seeing, like I was amazed that when we were watching the India-Pakistan match, or when I was watching the final of the T20 World Cup, you had Neeraj Chopra coming in during the advertising breaks, you know. A few years ago, that was unheard of. You could not even have imagined a track and field athlete coming in during a cricket match. So it shows that brands are looking at non-cricketing heroes. The country has recognized non-cricketing heroes as well. So for them, there is a future. There is a career. Sport in Olympic disciplines, you have a future. Earlier, if you were a boxer, or you were a track and field athlete, or you were a swimmer, or you were any sport athlete, you know, the question mark was, can I make enough money to pursue this as a career? Right. Now, it's very clear that if you are of an international quality, if you can win medals at the Commonwealth Games or the Asian Games or the Olympic Games, there will be brands who will lap you up. And we've seen that with Neeraj and with the others.
And if I may add one more thing to it, sports is the ultimate meritocracy. When a javelin leaves Neeraj Chopra's hands, it does not see the caste, creed, religion, ethnicity, or even the economic background of the thrower. It falls where it has to. It's ultimate meritocracy. So it's a leveler. It teaches you discipline. It requires you to always keep your guard up, prepare for the future as well. Let's talk about business then. What are you preparing for right now? What do you think in the JSW Group would be the Sunil Chhetri of the future, or what are those businesses that you're seeding right now? I see there is cement, there are, of course, the paints business that you entered about 5 years ago, and the most recent one, you have MG Motors too. So what are the plans here?
No, I think there's a lot happening at the group. I think India is obviously growing at a tremendous speed under the visionary leadership of the Prime Minister. And it's no secret that India is going to be a $10 trillion economy very soon, and our ambitions are much bigger than that, which bodes extremely well for infrastructure, which bodes extremely well for steel, for cement, for paint, for energy, and for all the other automobiles. We're getting into defense. We're looking at real estate in a big way. So a lot of plans afoot. But the business that I think which is the most exciting and which dovetails very well with the India story is energy. Okay. Because renewable energy is going to be needed in gigawatts, and India as a country, the energy demand is increasing by 7 to 8% every year. And when you look at the plant load factor or the utilization factor of renewable energy, it's about, depending whether it's solar or wind, it varies from 25 to 33%. So that means for every megawatt of power that you want to generate, you need to put at least 3 to 4 megawatts of renewable energy. So the opportunity in front of a company like JSW Energy is huge. The demand is, unlimited. The payment risk is the government of India, so there's virtually no payment risk. So it's all about execution. And I think how we can scale execution capabilities within the group is very important, because unlike a thermal power plant, or unlike a cement plant, or unlike a steel plant, which is in a constrained environment, in a contained environment, where you have a boundary wall and you're building a plant and then you're going to produce whatever product and you're going to sell it. This is disaggregated. You have few wind towers coming in this village, you have a few solar panels in that. So you have to deal with a lot of people. You have to work on evacuation of the power. So execution is the real challenge. But I think other than that, I think the group is well poised.
So what are the targets there here? I mean, you keep talking about giving targets to your teams, etc. What's the investment? And if we look at the Olympics, thing, CTS, Altius, Fortius, right? So how fast, when, and what would be your capacity be here?
So we've guided the market that by end of FY25 we will be a 10 gigawatt company.
Right.
And we've guided the market that we want to be 20 gigawatts by the end of the decade. Internally, we are targeting to bring that in much faster. Okay. This year, we are targeting to execute 3 gigawatts of projects. We want to get that lever moving faster. So we want to go from 3 to 5 gigawatts in the fiscal year next year, and then go from 5 to 7 in the following year. So we want to reach 20 gigawatts by 2027. And then revise our plans for 2030. But the idea is that, a company which executed barely half a gigawatt last year, we're targeting to execute 3 gigawatts this year, and then go to 5 gigawatts next year, and then let the ball get rolling. That's been a very big challenge, building the team, getting the leadership in, understanding the nuances of renewable energy versus thermal versus hydro, all very, very different. So kind of similar to sports in many ways, how to play on different surfaces, how to perform in different arenas, how to have pressure come at you at different points of the day and different points of time, and how to execute.
Well, you gave it to me on a platter where you said this is what sport is all about, this is what business is all about as well. Sport is not only about, competitive sport is not only about what you do, it's also about what your competitors do. Yeah. Right? One of them is the paint sector. You entered in 2019, 5 years hence, you managed to do about 2,000 crores, just about broken even on the EBITDA front, not yet on PBDIT. What is it that makes this industry so difficult to penetrate into, where the top leadership still belongs to the couple of players who've been there for almost 40, 50 years. What have you learned here and what are your targets here?
Yeah, I think the paint industry is an industry in which I have really appreciated and understood the power of the brand. I think brand recall is extremely vital, extremely important, and distribution. So if you look at the number of touch points the leading paint players have versus the number of touch points we have, we're not even in the ballpark, right? So, and it's difficult to get distribution because does the country really need another paint player, right?
It seems like, because that's what some of the largest groups of the country have announced, and they've set themselves a tall target as well of 10,000 crores in the next 3 years. I mean, how does one get there?
Yeah, it's amazing. The company that you're referring to has made a huge capital investment. They've invested in 7 manufacturing facilities, I think 8 manufacturing facilities across the country, 5,000 crores of investment, setting up the capacity, as much capacity as the number 2 player has today. I don't think it's a capacity game.
Yeah.
I think it's a demand game, and how are you going to get that demand from the end consumer? How are you going to get that demand from the interior designers, from the architects, from the painters, from the contractors, and from the retailer at the end of the day, and the end consumer? So we have been building our business, block by block, and last year we crossed 2,000 crores. This year we're very confident of crossing 3,000 crores. And it is our aim that by 2028 we want to cross 10,000 crores.
Okay. And how much of that 10,000 crores would be captive and how much of that would be off the decorative? Because I'm sure a large part of the 2,000 crores also comes in from some of your captive consumption.
Yes. So last year we did about 1,200 crores of decorative sales and about 900 crores of industrial. This year we are likely to do about 1,800 crores in decorative and about 1,200 crores in industrial. Going forward, our aim is to be a 70% decorative player and 30% industrial. So when we hit 10,000 crores, we want 7,000 crores to come from our decorative business and 3,000 crores to come from industrial. Of that 3,000, about half will be captive.
And what about the earnings there? Because I mean, not only are we chasing top line, we're chasing bottom line as well. 5 years in, you've just about managed to break even, at least on the operational front.
Yeah.
With the investments that are required, what's the path to profitability here?
Yeah, so our industrial business is very healthy. It makes an EBITDA margin of close to 12 to 15%. It's in the decorative business where we've been pumping in advertising and promotion a lot of money. So as compared to like an Asian Paints that does about 3% of their top line on advertising, we spend close to 20% of our top line on advertising. So as our revenue grows, this percentage will come down. And this year we are planning on breaking even on the decorative side and making about 12 to 15% on the industrial side. So overall, this year will be the first year where the company will be PAT positive. And then next year we would look to make about 4 to 6% on the decorative side, continue on the industrial side, and then keep improving that and get to the market norms, which is about 14 to 16% on the decorative side over the next 3 years.
What's happening in the cement space? What are your targets here? What are you eyeing? Are there any assets up for sales that you're looking at? The overall picture.
Yeah, I think we are in a silent period now because we are about to file for our IPO.
IPO.
We're about to file our DRHP, so I won't be able to make comments on it. But our target is that we want to go from 20 million tons, which we are today, to 60 million tons over the next 5 years. And we have secured enough limestone mines through the auction process to grow organically.
Right.
At the same time, we're continuously evaluating inorganic opportunities. With regards to what's happening in the industry, I think last year the industry grew at a very robust pace. This year, after budget, which happened a few days ago, we're very confident that infrastructure spending is only going to accelerate. What we saw in the first 4 months of the year was that due to the elections, due to the impasse because of the budget, and due to the change in government, very little infrastructure spending has happened. So year on year, if you look in the first 4 months, infra spending is down 14%. But if you look at Government of India's target for FY25, it's to grow 17%. That means in the next 8 months, the government has to grow 35% year on year, which is staggering, right? And then if you look at some of our facilities, we have a good presence in Andhra Pradesh, we have good presence in the east, and with the added impetus on Andhra Pradesh and Bihar from the government, we are very excited about the infra spending that's going to happen. So I think we should see the industry grow between 8 to 10% on the volume front this year. So that means an incremental, 30 to 40 million tons of incremental demand should come online. There is a jostle for market share. You have a very aggressive number 2, a very aggressive number 1, very aggressive number 3, very aggressive number 4. Everyone is...
It's like the Olympics, right? It's a margin of errors.
Yeah, everyone is not wanting to lose an inch.
So what's your right to win here?
I think for us, our right to win is the fact that we have a lot of synergies with the group. The waste product that comes out of the blast furnaces goes straight into making cement. The waste product that comes out of the thermal power plants, the fly ash, goes directly into making cement. Due to our ports and port infrastructure, we have a very big advantage on the logistics cost. So we will always remain a very low-cost producer of cement, and that's how we want to grow. We're also the greenest cement available in the world. And I think as the ESG factor increases for real estate players and for EPC players, they will start moving and preferring greener products. So I genuinely believe that if you don't get to 60 million tons by the end of this decade, you will not be relevant in the market. You will be a small player. Because I believe that the market will be close to consumption will be close to 600 to 650 million tons by the end of the decade. And in order to at least have a 10% share, you have to be a 60 million ton player. And that's what we're focusing on. Obviously, once we have some dry powder after the IPO, then we can look at some
When is the IPO likely to be?
We're going to file very imminently, and we hope that, definitely within this financial year, we would be going public.
And what's the money that you're looking to raise?
I'm not able to disclose that because all the regulations.
Let's talk about the automotive space as well right now. I mean, MG Motors, everyone's looking at what your plan is out here as well. What are the targets? I mean, this also comes just before Hyundai is likely to file for its IPO in the second half of this year. So a lot happening in the auto space. You have large players, again, similar to what you're doing in the paints business, similar to what you're doing in the cements business. What's the plan here?
No, I think MG, JSW MG Motors is a long way away from an IPO.
I'm not asking about the IPO.
But I'm saying the plan is, if you look at the EV space, today MG is the second largest player in the EV space with only 2 products. We have the ZS EV and the Comet. And we have about a 26 to 30% market share in the electric vehicle space. Going forward, we're going to be launching new models. I think because of the impasse of, because of Galvan and what happened between India and China, and because the company was owned by the Chinese 100%, there were a lot of approvals and permissions that the company was not getting. And as a result, the company was not able to bring in any investment into India, and hence no new models was actually launched by MG other than the Comet, which is a very niche 2-door product.
So how many new products in the next couple of years?
So we plan on bringing our first new product by Diwali this year. And then every 3 to 4 months, we plan on bringing a new model. So next year, we're targeting at least 4 new launches. And then going forward, we plan on bringing in new models.
Do you have an aspirational market share target here?
So we believe that the Indian auto market by the end of the decade would be about 10 million passenger vehicles, from today about 4 million. And we would like to have a 10% market share.
Final question then. We're here at Paris 2024, LA 2028. Of course, there will be cricket, etc. as well. By then, I'm sure there would be a couple of more listed companies from the JSW Group as well. So from where we are right now to when we talk just before LA 2028, what do you think the group will be looking like in terms of revenue, listed companies, and the targets that you have? Olympics to Olympics. Let's talk about that. We speak quarter to quarter. Let's talk Olympics to Olympics.
That's what we tell our donors, that when you donate to IIS, you judge us over a 4-year period. So I think, if you look at JSW Group today, we have 3 listed entities, a combined market cap of about 50 billion, and we have a group turnover of about 24 billion today. Over the next 4 years, we anticipate that another 3 companies of ours would go public: JSW Cement, JSW One Platforms, and JSW Paints.
Okay.
These are the 3 companies, and maybe MG as well.
Okay.
So that's between Paint and MG, I'm sure one of them will go public by then. In terms of revenues, I think we are looking at growing at a 13 to 15% CAGR, dollar CAGR.
Yes.
So we would like to be double of the turnover that we are today. So we would like to be a $50 billion turnover group. Market cap, I think the markets will decide. There are very different views on multiples and valuations, but I hope we can cross the $100 billion mark. That would be a great achievement.
All right, incredible. Thank you so much. This has been a pleasure.
You.
I won't leave you without a promise of joining us just before the IPL, and then we speak about the Delhi Capital strategy as well.
Sure.
I'll put on my Mumbai Indians hat that time.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Look forward. Thank you.
That was Parth Jindal. Thank you for watching.